It's been 60 years since England last won a major trophy, and it's now sure to extend to 62 years at the very least. Every other year, a whole nation sings "It's coming home," but something ends up happening that sends them home instead. These days, England enters almost every major tournament with one of the best squads and as clear favourites, but they still always fall short somewhere, somehow. In 1998, they blamed Beckham. In 2002, they were just unlucky to go up against a formidable Brazil team. In 2006, they blamed Cristiano Ronaldo for getting Rooney sent off. In 2010, they were unfortunate to have seen Lampard's legitimate goal get disallowed against Germany. In 2014, it was simply that Roy Hodgson was a terrible manager of the national team. In 2018, they were simply unlucky. In 2022, they once again lost to the best team. In the middle of all this has also been the penalty shootout curse, which got the better of them at the 1998 and 2006 World Cups, as well as the 2012 and 2020 Euros. And now in 2026, some people are trying to blame it on refereeing decisions and a conspiracy theory, but maybe, just maybe, it is time to stop making excuses for England. Don't get us wrong, fate has not always smiled down on England on the biggest of stages, we know that. Frank Lampard's goal should definitely have counted in that knockout game against Germany back in 2010. The red card on David Beckham against Argentina back in 1998 was a little harsh, and who knows what could have happened if Harry Kane had scored that penalty against France in 2022. Yes, they have been quite unlucky on a few occasions, but at some point the FA, the coaches and the players have to look inward and ask themselves why they always seem to fail. And to be fair, they've also found themselves on fate's good side on different occasions. This year alone, they should have conceded a penalty against Ghana, and their first goal against Norway was contentious as the ball was alleged to have hit a camera cable. In fact, their only World Cup trophy came thanks to a goal that should not have stood. So it really all balances out in the end. The England national team has packed so much talent through different generations that they should have been able to get across the line even if it's just once in the last 60 years. There is so much firepower and a large pool of very talented players to choose from that it has become just inexcusable for them to go this long without a major trophy. I mean, how can you have the self-acclaimed best league in the world and still not be able to dominate international football? Well, the how is quite obvious. There's one reason England continues to falter when it matters most. We'll talk about it in a second, but if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to go do that so you never miss out on our amazing content. Done? Okay, back to the video. One thing that seems to always hold England back is their lack of courage, especially when they are up against the big boys. When it comes to getting past less talented nations, England always get the job done one way or another, but against nations with history and prestige, something always goes wrong. And we're not just saying this, the numbers back it up. You see, since 1998, England have been eliminated on all 7 occasions when they faced a top 10 ranked nation in the knockout stages of the World Cup. So it has really just been a matter of where they met the big boys. In 2010 and 2022, it was in the quarter-finals, and in 2018 and 2026, it was in the semis. There's just such an obvious pattern that cannot be ignored. It feels like it's a character flaw that continues to hold them back, and even a foreign coach was not able to purge that out of them. All of that was very much exposed this year. Going into that semi-final game against Argentina, a lot of English fans were very positive and optimistic. Argentina had struggled all tournament and now seemed over-reliant on an aging Messi. The defending champions looked like they were at their most vulnerable. And with the talent, physicality, youth and determination of the English side, this felt like a game they could win. It looked like their clearest chance of making it to the World Cup final for the first time in 60 years. And the game seemed to be going according to plan when they took the lead from an Anthony Gordon goal just 10 minutes into the second half. At that point, it was England's game to lose. Leading up to that goal, they were enjoying 45% of the ball possession. If they had built on the momentum they got from their goal, they could have caused Argentina more damage and maybe even nicked another goal. But then, the old habits kicked in and England started to be cowardly again. A few minutes after the goal, Gordon was taken off and replaced by Konsa. And a few minutes after that, 2 more defenders were thrown on. Switching to all-out defense mode so early in the game gave Argentina impetus, and they just continued to knock and knock until they got what they wanted. England were so afraid of losing their lead that they ended up losing the game. They were just sitting ducks, and the numbers tell a telling tale. In the 37 minutes between Gordon's opener and Lautaro Martinez's winner, England had just 12% of the ball possession. That is just unforgivable. When you don't have the ball, you simply cannot dictate what happens in the game. So it's safe to say that England just let the game happen to them after they scored, which is not how a team that really wants to win should play. And what makes this one very interesting is that Thomas Tuchel was actually thinking of making an attacking change early in the second half. Just before Gordon scored, he had already gotten Marcus Rashford ready to come on and help England go all out for it. But after they took a 1-goal lead, he changed his mind, switching from attack to defence through his substitutions. That was quite disappointing, and even the biggest English voices have said so. Harry Kane said that it wasn't a performance worthy of a World Cup semi-final. Jamie Carragher called out Tuchel's management, even saying it was worse than 2018 and 2022. Gary Lineker said it was a negative move from the coach and was absolutely unfathomable. Wayne Rooney plainly said that the coach cost the team, and Joe Hart made a very telling comparison, saying that nothing had changed from when Gareth Southgate was in charge. He said that Tuchel did not believe in his team, he did not believe they could land more punches on Argentina, which was why he backpedaled. This comparison from Joe Hart is very interesting because, if you remember, Southgate was often very criticised for not being able to get over the line in the big moments. Everyone said it was because he was not a good enough or big enough coach. But now, they have a big coach with a big reputation, and that problem still persists. This feels like it is a much deeper issue. And to be very honest, the fact that England even had to rely on a foreign coach to lead them into this tournament in the first place is a massive indictment on English football. This nation is said to be the home of football, and it has had multiple golden generations through the years, but they still have not been able to produce a coach worthy of leading the team to glory in 60 years. Coming into this tournament, no team had ever won the World Cup with a foreign coach, and with Spain and Argentina now in the final, that is sure to continue for at least another 4 years. In the end, no one will motivate your nation like one of your own. But it seems like England have not managed to find their own guy. No English manager has ever won the Premier League, and since it was rebranded from the European Cup in 1992, no English manager has ever won the UEFA Champions League either. That is something the FA must confront. Other nations have done it. After multiple failures in finals, Argentina looked inward and found Lionel Scaloni. After early exits in the 2014 and 2018 World Cup tournaments, Spain looked inward and found Luis de la Fuente. Perhaps it is time for England to stop making excuses and start to look inward to find a saviour. To be fair, it appears that the major voices are indeed tired of the excuses. Maybe it was because this represented a great opportunity for them to finally get into a World Cup final. Maybe it was because of how they lost their lead against Argentina. Maybe it was because of how they played, or maybe it was because trying something different and unpopular like hiring a foreign coach hasn't changed anything. Whatever it is, it has certainly got people fed up. The England national team has enough quality to conquer the world, and they have to start believing, start showing courage, and start playing like champions. If they don't, this pattern will just never stop. Anyway, it is now time to hear from you guys. Why do you think this England team always falls short? What do you think must now be done differently? Do you think this team can really bounce back and maybe win the Euros in 2 years? Tell us what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.